MLB Tonight, a conversation continues alongside Stephen Nelson. I'm Adnan Virk. A pleasure to bring in Kolten Wong of the Milwaukee Brewers to speak more about this topic. Kolten, Stephen and I have been saying all show how cool this is, the fact we're focusing on Asian heritage and what it means to us. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, a guy who grew up in Hawaii. First off, thanks for having me on, by the way. But, it's been really cool, man, to see this whole Asian, heritage thing start to take full effect. It's one of those things where, us from the islands and, anybody with Asian heritage, you play with pride, you play understanding that, we don't have much numbers in the league right now, but it's cool to see, everybody bringing, light to the subject and, respecting the players that are out here doing their thing.
Now, Kolten, where you're from, the 808, you're always representing for your home state. The wrinkle about that is back home, you're the majority. You're a local boy. You look around, there are a lot of people who look like you. When you're playing a game, you look to your left or right in the diamond, people look like you. When you came to the mainland to play pro ball, was there a big culture shock?
Yeah, it was. I think just the transition of, especially being from Hawaii, like you said, and then coming to the Midwest. I used to tell everybody when I first got drafted by the Cardinals, I didn't even know where St. Louis was. It's one of those things. Growing up in Hawaii, man, it's hard to get off the rock. So it was one of those things. I was pumped to be a Cardinal, but really didn't know where I was going. But I was excited for the ride.
And when we go back to those growing pains that all of us feel when you're trying to assimilate, trying to find your way, who was it specifically that helped to mentor you? Who can you look back to say, you know what, that person was really helpful in getting my assimilation going?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of guys who really helped me in my transition. It was a big transition. It was a big move for me, especially, being a homegrown guy. But I would have to say John Jay was my guy. From Miami, he's kind of, a person of, color like myself. So he was able to kind of notice things that I was kind of going through and able to help me through them. There's a lot of transitions. You tend to learn that you're getting treated differently sometimes, and you see different things being thrown up, and it's like, man, there's no support for me here. But to have somebody to have your back, and he was that guy for me, and I really appreciate everything he did for me at that time.
I think every single player in the big leagues will tell you it's hard enough just to stick here. You're focused every day on just trying to get better and do your job. You're not so much thinking, coming up anyway, as a youngster, about everything else that's going on in the world and your place in it. At what point did it hit you that you have a bigger responsibility beyond your job as a baseball player, given what you mean to our community?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge, especially like you said, the Asian community, for me, the Pacific Islander community. I feel like that's all kind of in, one big bubble. And it's just, I started noticing when I was coming up through the minor leagues and I started getting a little weight behind my name that, it meant something for me to go out there and play the game the right way, to show the kids back home that, there is a chance for us to make it. Where I grew up in a place that not many guys get a chance to leave, so being that guy to kind of steer the boat, in this path, it's been pretty cool, man. You see a lot of kids come to me and they're super excited, super pumped. Their confidence is through because they believe they have a chance to do it. And, at the end of the day, that's all we try to do is just instill confidence in kids to know that, hey, this dream is, you can do it, man. As long as you believe in it and you don't give up, you can do it.
It's wonderful to take pride in being a role model, and I can see that it's sincere and genuine. But it's always a challenge when, as you said, you're trying to just make your way. I'm trying to be a Major League Baseball player, be successful, be one of the guys. But at the same time, I do realize the significance that I have, the platform that I have. How do you walk that tightrope between, hey, I'm just trying to fit in here, between, no, I want to use my voice to enact change?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact is, you're here for one reason, that's to play baseball. So you kind of step onto the field and you understand that this is a game that I'm here to play. I got to play as hard as I can and make sure I take care of business on the field. And then when I get off or when I have my times to really use my platform, that's when I use it. I think a lot of guys come in and they want to use their platform right away, which is, awesome, but you got to realize what you're here for. And that's one thing I never forgot. So I'm here for baseball. I'm here to try and, continue to chase the dream that I've had, but also understanding and knowing that this dream is something that is opening up a lot of eyes to kids that hopefully their dreams can come true too.
Kolten, something AV and I always joke about is Asian excellence. We are rooting for anybody and everybody in the community, and that's why you're one of our favorite players. And it's not just because of that. You look to your left at the start of the year, opening day, it's you and Keston Hiura, another Asian American.
Yeah.
And Yeli's got some Japanese in his family's heritage as well. Have you guys talked? Have you guys had substantial and meaningful conversation over the past year as we've seen the rise in Asian hate crimes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just understanding what's going on in the world. It's just such a sad time with all this hate crime going on with, all these things. It's just one of those things where, Keston and I and Yelich and whatnot, we always have conversations about it and how we can affect people and how we can impact people of Asian heritage and whatnot. And I mean, it's a time in the world right now where it's not good. So hopefully that we can, continue to bring light to the situation, show people that love is love, man, hate is hate. Let's be on one side and, love each other. So I think, if we can get that message across, man, more people will have fun and we can kind of get back to living the way we used to live.
Yeah, certainly focus on tolerance, understanding for all of us. And it's interesting, though, Kolten, I think we're celebrating what baseball has done so far, and it's wonderful to see, but there's always more work to be done. What would you like to see happen here in Major League Baseball with regard to issues around Asian identity, et cetera?
Yeah, I think it's just constantly pushing the platform of everybody. I feel like we get caught in, just trying to find the one guy who has this swag about him, who plays the game with, this excitement. Let's try and find more other kids out there who have that same thing. I mean, it might not be the same kind of swag that's loud and in somebody's face, but, find a guy who's proud of where he's from. Find a guy who has pride and takes pride of playing the game the right way and doing things to bring pride to their family. I think that's one thing we can do is, we can take different heritages and different people from different races and put them in positions to be in a big spotlight. Show that every single race can be in the spotlight. Show that every single race has a chance to stand out and be special. You might not have the swag, but you have something else that another kid can look at and be like, man, that's what I consider swag. So I think Major League Baseball can do better with just having other guys of different ethnicities come out and show who they really are.
I'm wondering, as we have these conversations, we're all in the same communities, right? We're Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders. But those conversations have to take place outside silos, right? It can't just, like last summer, it can't just be members of the black community talking about the fact that Black Lives Matter. And here we are right now. It can't just be Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders talking about our community. Do you feel like, whether it's, baseball brethren, other players, teammates, media members, they are taking the time and spending the effort to try and understand more?
I think so. I think everyone now is starting to get to that point. You have to. I mean, with seeing all the amount of hate that's going on, regardless if you're black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. There's hate going on everybody. I think we need to come together and figure out what's the next step. I think it starts from social media and seeing all the hate that's going on social media carries over. Kids are reading that, they think it's okay, and that's carrying over, and that's not okay. So I think it's a movement that needs to happen. I think it's a movement that is happening. But guys with platforms, bigger names, need to step up a little more and just make it, a cool thing to love everybody, to bring the love, spread the love, and understand that we're all human. We all bleed the same color blood, and, it is what it is.
Nellie and I often joke about the stereotype of Asian mothers, what that can be all about, both good things and bad things.
Yeah.
I know you had a great tweet on Mother's Day, and I know your mom is no longer with us, but what impact did your mom have on you? Because I'm just guessing, and clearly it was a sizable imprint in the kind of person you are today.
Yeah, just about respect. My mom was always about respect. I grew up in an old school family home. If you didn't have respect, you kind of got the backhand, and mom wasn't afraid to give me one, So it was about, respecting mom, respecting the people around you, especially your elders, and doing things the right way to bring pride to your name. And, she always made sure that I had that regardless of how big I was getting. It was always about being respectful.
Hey, well, we respect the hell out of you, Kolten Wong, for everything you do and represent how you go about it, and
Thank you.
The Aloha spirit, bringing that to the mainland and sharing that with everybody in Major League Baseball. Thank you so much, Kolten, for being with us.
Right on, guys. Thank you, guys.